Hi class, my name is Miss Alyssa and today we're going to be talking about percentages. Can anybody tell me what a percentage is? Yeah?
It's a part of a whole.
Okay, good job. It's a part of a whole. Does anybody know what the word percent means?
Per hundred.
Good job. Per or every 100. This can be represented as any number over 100. And this is called the percent ratio. It turns into a percent proportion when you set n over 100 equal to part over whole. And this n over 100 equals part over whole can explain three things. It can give you the percent, the part, or the whole. So I know this is a little bit confusing right now, but we're going to start off by doing an example problem, and then maybe it'll be a little bit easier for you. So to start off, what percent of 80 is 18? Can anybody tell me what we're trying to find in this question?
The part of the whole.
We're not trying to find the part, it's asking what percent of 80 is 18.
Do you want
We're
the
trying
answer?
to find the n, the number over 100, the percentage. So you don't know what n is yet, so you're going to place an x over 100. And for this, it's always going to be 100 because this is always your percent. And you're going to set x over 100 equal to 18 is the part over 80, which is the whole. Now, how can we solve this problem here?
Divide.
Multiply.
Yep, multiply. How do we do the multiplication? By doing crossing over one another. So you would take x times 80 and set that equal to 18 times 100. And can you tell me the first step in doing that?
Multiply 18 times 100.
Yep. So you're going to get 80x is equal to 1,800. And then what's the next step in doing that?
Divide by 80.
Yep, divide by 80. And then once you do something to one side, you have to do it to the other. Alright, plug it into your calculators. X is equal to 22.5. So that would give you 18 is 22.5% of 80. Does everybody understand how to do that? Okay. And then the next, we're going to try to find the part. So 75% of 320 is what number? Alright. So let's start out with this proportion again. Do we have our n?
No.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the n is?
75.
Okay, 75 over 100 and set that equal to, do we have our part?
No. That would
Okay,
be n.
so you're going to set that equal to x since you don't know what that is because that's what we're trying to solve for. And then what's our whole?
320.
Okay, and then here again we're going to do the cross multiplication and get 100x is equal to 75 times 320. So when we multiply 75 times 320 and then divide by 100, you will get x equal to 240. So the part, so 75% times 320, and you'll get 240. And then the next thing we could find from the proportion is the whole number. So the example problem is 77.6% of what number is 264.4. 48% of what is 314? It's going to be problem number 4 on your worksheets. Okay, I'll give you a minute to solve that and then let me know what the answer is.
$654.2.
Good job. 654.2. Alright. Does everybody understand this? Do we need to go over anything again?
I think Casey needs to know how to do that again.
Can you work that problem out for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Walk me through it. I'm having a hard time.
So number 4. So you have 314 is 48% of what number?
48 over 100.
Okay. So you have your percent, which is 48 over 100. And do you have the part or do you have the whole number in the problem?
You have the part.
Yes, good job. So what are you going to, so if you have the part, which is 314, what are you going to put for the whole number in the proportion?
A variable.
Yes, so x. So when you cross multiply, how would you find that?
Now that part I'm having a hard time with.
Okay. So when we cross multiply, we talked about this last week when we did proportions. You're going to go diagonal. So 48 times x, so you would go this way. And then 100 times 314, and you go this way. So 48x is equal to 100 times 314. Could you plug 100 times 314 into your calculator?
$31,400.
Okay. 48x is equal to 31,400. So then what do you do? What is your next step when you have something next to x and you need to solve?
You would divide by 48.
Yep. So if you divide by 48 on this side, what would you have to do to the other side?
Divide by 48.
Good job. So then that's where you would get x is equal to 654.2. Do you understand now?
I do, thank you.
Okay. Alright, since everybody has that concept, we're going to move to setting up percent equations. Okay, so over here was called our percent proportion. So now we're going to do an equation, and it's a little bit easier in getting set up. And this is, you could either set it up in this way or set it up in the equation form. So When we go back to when we solved for a percent, what percent of 80 is 18? So you'll set the percent. Does anybody know what the percent is? We talked about it over here.
No.
What would we write for the percentage, like the percentage
X.
ratio?
N over 100.
N over 100. Does anybody know what the word of means when you're setting up equations?
Multiply.
Multiply. And then does anybody know what the word is means? Equal. Yep. So, and then you just bring down your variables. So here's where you get your equation from. N over 100, or your percent, times 80, or of 80, is equal to 18. So how would you solve for this equation here? If this would be in parentheses, because this is one set, what would you need to do next to solve to get n?
Multiply n out.
Well, n is not by itself yet, so if you would cover up this, what would you need to do?
Make it into a fraction.
No, that would be kind of like reversing what we were already doing here.
Could
So
you
if you have n over 100 times 80, what do you need to do to get n over 100 by itself?
Put 80 over 100 and then multiply.
Kind of, but that's what we would be doing with the percent proportion. So we're trying to set it up in an equation. So solving equations, if you multiply something by 80, what would you have to do to get rid of it?
Divide by 80.
Divide by 80. So if you divide by 80 on one side, you would have to divide by 80 on the other. So these would cancel out, and you would get n over 100 equals 18 over 80. So if you're dividing by 100 on this side, what would you have to do to get rid of that?
Multiply by 100.
Multiply by 100. So these would cross cancel since you're canceling them out. And you would get n equals 18 over 80 times 100. Can anybody do that in their calculator for me? It would be, you would do in your calculator 18 divided by 80 and then times 100.
Okay. 22.5.
22.5%. You can see how over here, how we would do the cross multiplication. Over here, we're just setting up an equation. So, does anybody know how you could use this in everyday situations? Trying to find the percentage of, or taking a percentage of a whole number? I know I personally use it all the time when I go shopping, trying to take a percentage off of something. So if something is 25% off, say the article is $40. Let's try to do that together. So 25% of $40 is what number? Is what we're trying to find. So, setting it up in an equation format, what do we have in our problem?
The percentage.
The percentage. So what can we do to the percentage instead of writing it as 25%?
25 over 100.
Yep, 25 over 100. of $40. So how would that be written in an equation?
Times 40.
Times 40. And then is would be what?
Would that be your variable?
It'd be equal.
Is equal.
Oh yeah.
And then what number would be your variable? So that's where you would write x.
Okay.
So you already have x by yourself, so all you have to do is solve what's on this side of the equation. So how could you multiply 25 over 100 times 40? Well, here you could just multiply straight across. So you could do 25 times 40 and then divide by 100. And what would you get?
10.
10. So 25% of 40 is $10. Does everybody understand?